Hey guys, ETN Study here from Sunbros, and today we're going to be doing another Hero Quick Look video, and we're going to be talking about Alice. Alice is a class support. Her role is control and buffs. As you guys can see in the bottom left, everything is pretty much even keel except for difficulty, which is near the top. Alice's passive is called Trot. When using abilities, it increases Alice's movement speed. Her first ability, Sunshine, unleashes the power of the sun, dealing damage and stunning enemies. Alice's second ability, Friendship, she creates a shield for herself and a nearby ally while increasing their movement speed. Alice's ultimate is called Hissy Fit. Alice summons a cursed circle that reduces movement speed, causes damage, and reduces magic defense of all enemies in the circle while also silencing them. Now we're going to move on to Alice's pros and cons, starting with her pros, which is the strengths that you're going to want to rely upon when you're playing Alice and the things you're going to want to avoid from her when you're playing against her. Her first pro is that she has great crowd control abilities. Starting with her first ability, Sunshine, she throws down an AoE stun in a circle that stuns all enemies who are hit, and it's not only a very solid stun, but it's also extremely reliable, and at level 6, it only has a 6-second cooldown, and if you're building cooldown reduction with her like you should be, you could get it down to about 3.5 seconds. Alice's other major crowd control ability is called Hissy Fit. She throws down a massive circle on the ground that does AoE damage, slows targets by 35%, decreases their magic damage, and of course silences them for 1 second. At level 3, the ultimate has a 25-second cooldown. With the proper cooldown reduction, you'll be looking at about just a shade under 15 seconds with the ability to cast that ult over and over again. Alice's second pro is that she has great survivability, and one of the main ways this comes in is her passive grants her 20% movement speed every time she casts an ability, which is solid. Secondly, she has that stun and the ultimate. If she has to really get away, she can slow and stun enemies as she's running away, and her second ability gives her a really solid shield as well as another movement speed buff of 30% for 2 seconds. So Alice can continually increase her movement speed, continually stunning and decreasing the enemy's movement speed and silencing them. So if they want to use dash abilities or movement speed abilities, they can get silenced for a second and have them stop that. It is extremely difficult to kill an Alice who knows how to use her abilities to get away. Now we're moving on to Alice's third pro, and it's one of the most unbelievable and unknown things about her. Alice can actually cancel abilities from the enemies whenever she wants to via her silence. And the way that looks is she throws out her ultimate Hissy Fit. Let's say you have a Zephyrus who's mid-ult. He's jumping up in the air and he's going to pounce out on your team and just go bananas on you. If Alice drops down Hissy Fit while he's doing this ability, if he's mid-jump and she casts it down, it cancels his ultimate. That goes with anybody's ability who essentially has any kind of charge up. And not only does it cancel, like it just stops the ability from happening, it actually still uses the crowd control because the ability began, and it is a devastating thing to do to an enemy. If you have a really fed enemy and you really wait for them to go in hard on your team and you cancel one of their major abilities doing that, it's incredible what that can do to an enemy team. Next, we're going to be moving on to Alice's cons. These are things you're going to want to avoid if you're playing as her, things you're going to want to exploit if you're playing against her. Her first con is that she does virtually no damage. If she's built correctly, she should be built with tankiness and crowd control in order to allow her to survive as long as possible and continue to deal out that incredible crowd control and game-changing abilities. So she won't do any damage when she's built in that fashion, but that's okay, that's not her job. Her second con is that she's surprisingly difficult to master. And what I mean by this is, number one, learning how to properly cast her stun. Her stun does have a delay when it's getting cast. It's not an insta cast. She throws it up and it lands, and it's not immediately there, bam, hitting enemies and stunning them. Learning the timing and the rhythm of her stun takes time. Learning to use her ultimate, Hissy Fit, to the best of its abilities, aka learning how to shut down fed enemies' ultimates and abilities when you want to and when you need to, is a very difficult thing to do. And also learning to use all these abilities in conjunction with escaping danger and how to really learn to maximize what it can do to the enemy team is very hard. People think Alice is easy to play, and she's not hard to cast her abilities, but learning how to properly use them in conjunction with another is very difficult. And Alice's third con is that she's very team reliant. Obviously, because she does no damage, there's very little she can do on her own. Now, that doesn't mean that she's not a difference maker. She's one of the biggest difference makers in the game, but she's not able to win a game on her own. And that's one of the things about Alice, that if you're looking for somebody who can change the course of the game single-handedly, Alice is not that person. But Alice still remains the best support and easily one of the best heroes in the game, one of the biggest difference makers by far. So I definitely recommend Alice if you guys are looking to play a solid support. But that's it for this one, guys. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, check out our other Hero Quick Look videos, as well as our brand new How to Play series and our brand new Top 5 series. Thanks for watching, guys, and as always, till next time.